Let's do this. Good morning. It's 9 a.m. on March 6, 2023. I'll call the meeting to order. We have Julie Cooper, Bennett Johnson, myself, Hannah Smith, Connie Redmond, and Lonzo Tackett. And forgive me,
Jerry Tenbush.
Jerry Tenbush. Nice to meet you. And is there any public comment?
There's no one online. Did you want to comment or?
No.
He's one of the applicants.
Awesome.
Can I use this time to just introduce myself and?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be great. Please.
So,
Yeah.
Most of you know me. My name's Jerry Tenbush. This is my 5th year serving on city council, re-elected this year. Pretty exciting. I've lived in Estacada for going on 28 years now. My family's been in Estacada. My kids are the 5th generation of my family to live in Estacada.
Awesome.
My wife was raised here her whole life. She was born in Portland, but raised here her whole life. And I'm just excited to be part of Downtown Estacada Commission. When Councilor Lickey said that he, had issues making it to meetings, I'm off every Monday, so I'm free all day Monday. So I stepped up and took it and was, really excited to be part of this.
And thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
It's nice to have somebody be here or participate and be a good liaison. So thank you.
Yeah. So, and just to let you guys know, I guess I'm different than the other city councilors when it comes to being a liaison. If I feel like I can further a discussion, if I can add to a discussion, I'm going to ask to speak. I'll raise my hand. I'll be very respectful and everything. But, if I feel like that there's something that, that I have something that I can add to a conversation, I'm going to speak up. And I guess that's not typical of other liaisons, but I feel like that's the best way to, or one of the best ways to either further a conversation, further an idea, or, get part of the council's ideals out there. So just if I start to go a little too far, just let me know and I'll step back. But yeah, yes.
Paul Strobel is the liaison for the library board and he comes to the meeting and is wonderful to have his insight or to keep us up to date on what's going on that we don't know about.
Yeah.
So speak up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good thing.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for being here on your day off.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. So we will, everybody look over the minutes from last meeting.
Yes.
Can we make a motion to adopt those minutes?
They're not printed. They were sent in your packet via email.
I'll move that we adopt the minutes from the last meeting.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
So first up, we have the Oregon Main Street grant owner agreement. Bennett, I believe you were able to do that and sign it.
So
Cool.
I need a motion
Okay.
to approve the grant owner agreement and authorize Bennett to sign for the DEC.
Okay.
And was this in the packet?
Yes, this was
Okay,
sent out
so
in the
you all
packet.
had
So you've all had a chance to look at it.
Mm.
It is pretty standard. It's just outlining a lot of the financial responsibilities. If we get the grant, what the city is responsible, and then what Hannah is responsible for.
That terminates if the grant's not awarded.
Mhm. Sure. Void.
And I
Okay.
think you can sign it too, right?
She'll have
I-
to sign it as the owner of the property.
Okay.
And she
Should I
will have
say-
to recuse herself from voting since you
Okay.
are the owner of the
Um,
property.
So I can sign it here and you guys all have this? I don't need to pass it around. Okay.
So how do you want this worded?
A motion to approve the agreement and to authorize Bennett as the signature.
I so move as to what Elena just said.
A second.
All those in
All
favor?
those in favor,
Oh,
yeah.
sorry, Bennett.
That's all right.
Aye.
I
Aye.
signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed, abstaining? Passes unanimously.
Fantastic. Thank you.
All right, moving on to social media. We got newspaper article, social media and e-newsletter. Do you have any updates, Bennett?
So newspaper article, this month I said that I would focus on history. And so as I was getting out of the car, I noticed the plaque on the front of this building, so I took a picture of it. So I think what I'll feature is this building and the Mason building this time. And then again, we'll go back to stuff that the DEC is doing and what people can expect, and then we'll go back to history and we'll just alternate back and forth. If that sounds okay to you guys.
Awesome.
Love it.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
good. And then the e-newsletter is really the same content. And then maybe I'll make a post for the for Facebook that you can use with that information and some of the pictures that.
Yeah.
It looks like this picture here is courtesy of somebody, so I'm assuming if we, since you have it on the front of the building, if we were to acknowledge
Credit them.
whomever it is courtesy of, that we're good to go on that.
The,
There's a photo on the plaque on this
for the
building.
historical
Mhm,
plaque, yeah.
yeah. Is there anything else? No, not under
Nope.
me.
I think, and then for me, we were able to do a couple cool posts about the fire station, a little bit of history on them and what they offer. And then what the DEC is, we did a post. And so coming up, I sent an email out to all the other commissions to get information from them if they want, for us to post about events going on that they have. And I do have a question, Elena.
Yeah.
So in regards to that, because I know but we have to post. We have our rules. But so when we want to make a post and still, can we post library stuff? Or is it not in the downtown core? I'm a little bit confused on that still.
I mean, the city does not
Yeah.
restrict you to the downtown core.
Okay,
If you wanted to set your own regulations on what you want to post on your social media, then you could restrict that to
Oh,
the
wow.
cities have to do more with nonprofits and
Sure,
not
yeah,
promoting
not
individual businesses.
somebody has a sale going on. Pretty much,
What?
just versus somebody has a sale going on.
Yeah,
So go
yeah,
shop there.
yep.
Yeah, is
Mhm.
what we've decided that's not okay.
Mhm.
So I got my water bill and there's a 5K happening. Is that
Mhm.
something we can post about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys get in that? Do you know what that?
I don't get a water.
The
bill.
Yeah.
sprint into spring.
Yeah. At Campanella Park.
I
Something
think
like
so. It's
Yeah.
the Parks and Rec Committee is the one who are hosting it.
Okay. So stuff like that, is that, do we
Yeah.
have to all agree on? I mean, because I'm all for just posting whatever people have going on. I mean, that's cool to post, because I don't think people would know about that.
Yeah, if there's something going on, I think in Estacada, I
Mhm.
think that we should definitely post about it because that will bring business
Yeah,
to downtown.
okay.
Yeah, so I think that's
Agree.
awesome.
Yeah, there's a 5K and I know the library is always doing stuff and Ant Farm and readings and. Okay.
What about like soccer signups or baseball signups? Does that that affects Estacada, right? So could we post about that kind of stuff?
So my own personal
I don't know.
opinion, you
Mhm.
guys know,
Yeah.
is that we should be putting everything in there and we should be
Right.
promoting businesses. But since we are not able to do that,
Mhm.
then I lean in the direction of we need to follow what the Main Street program says to the letter. And so the Main Street program includes a very defined area.
Mhm.
And so I think we ought not, as long as we're part of this Main Street program, I think we ought not to stray outside of that very defined area.
Mhm.
And I'm telling you, you
Mhm.
guys can overrule me.
Yeah.
That's fine. But additionally, the conversation that we're about to have later, the reason I asked to have it on the agenda has to do with a nonprofit that basically is in competition with other for-profit businesses in town. And so, that's why I wanted that on the agenda, is that if we are going to consider other things, we probably need to have some rules that we scrutinize
Mhm.
the other events, et cetera, with. And so if Campanella Estates is having a run, is that it? Yeah. Then is that a nonprofit? I don't think so. And is it, so,
It's the Parks and Rec Committee that's having the run.
oh, it is?
Yeah,
Okay,
it is,
okay.
it is not Campanella Estates. It's in Campanella Park is where the run is located.
So I think we need to kind of walk through all that and say, okay, that's not in the downtown core. Do we want to focus on that regardless of the fact that a city commission is actually sponsoring it? So these are questions that I don't have the answers to at this point.
Mhm.
I see where you're coming from. Do you want to speak? Have any comments?
So my thought on it is basically you need to figure out, what your newsletter is trying to accomplish. If your focus is on downtown Estacada, if you start putting stuff, a bunch of stuff in there that doesn't pertain to downtown Estacada, it can get a little convoluted, and people, it just depends on what your vision for the newsletter is. What, if you want it to be like a what's up Estacada, this is what's going on in Estacada, then that's one thing. But
Mhm.
if you want it to focus on, if you want the focus to be downtown Estacada, then, I say kind of limit it to what's going on in downtown Estacada. Cause there are other avenues for the stuff to get out there,
Right.
but
Mhm.
Everybody's going to want their information everywhere. So they're going to come, they know that you got a newsletter. They're going to come at you with a, hey, can you put this in your newsletter type of
Mhm.
thing. So it just depends on what your vision for the newsletter is, what direction, you want your newsletter to go, what the
Mhm.
focus should be. So
I think what
that's-
the hardest
Yeah.
part for this is everything that's in downtown Estacada is businesses. But we can't highlight businesses for their specials and stuff because we have to separate government from public, right?
Yeah.
So trying to find content for us to post about is, very, very hard. Well, just from my viewpoint, is very, very hard because then the only thing that we really can post about on Facebook is pictures of stuff that is downtown, and then again, that's businesses. So that's the fork that I think that we're at is that, right? So that's why we're trying to find other things to talk about, because we can't talk about the things that are in downtown Estacada. That's it. Does everyone else agree? Okay.
Yeah, there's a, you gotta.
But that was what we chose because we're working with the city.
Yes.
Because we have to find a nonprofit or something else to work with to help fund us, right? Is that,
Yeah, the only thing I disagree with is we didn't choose that.
we didn't choose that?
Yeah, we didn't choose it. we were told
Yeah.
that those were the limitations.
I think what Lonzo means is you chose it as in the EDA chose to come back under the city's umbrella. And rather than be a nonprofit, be a city commission.
Yes, yeah.
Which
because-
was a choice, not from this board, but from the EDA in order to have the staff support and the funding available.
Yeah, because as much as I know the government helps and everything, but it's not helping us.
So I want to, it sounds to me like maybe you guys want to have a subcommittee develop some social media or communications guidelines based on the city's guidelines and what you guys hope to accomplish.
I actually think that would be a waste of time to
Okay.
have a subcommittee, because I think it's a discussion that I think that we should have in this room,
Okay.
and just, get people's feelings about the constraints that we have to deal with and what we can do with those constraints.
So I think one of the main things is, do we want to stick to the downtown core or not? Because that's our choice, correct? So,
Yes.
so if we do stick to the down core, then that's, and correct me if I'm wrong, that's not, we can't promote library. Library's not in downtown. core.
Library's not in downtown
Uh,
unless they're having like their
some of the
bookmobile
parks
is
and rec-
coming out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, or the Parks and Rec 5K.
Unless it's running downtown. Yeah,
Right.
if that's what you want.
Okay.
I think we should. We're the Downtown Estacada Commission. And as several people have said,
should keep it in the downtown core, so
yeah, that's
not,
what our focus is.
yeah.
And if we start branching out, then it gets very
Mhm.
confusing.
Where is that line?
I get it.
Yeah, where's that line?
Yeah, I agree, because then it goes into football and soccer, you know, I get that. And because all of these other entities have their own ways of, I'm assuming, getting their word out. It's
The-
just
yeah, the
us trying to
library,
take it
Parks and
all,
Rec, they
you
all
know,
have
it's not
their
our
own
job.
Facebook pages. so-
Yeah. Okay. So any more comments on that, or do we want to move forward and agree that we want to just stick to the downtown core and the map that we have, or? Because I think it makes it a little easier.
Yeah.
By
I think
having
it can Just be a
things-
nod too, because it actually is in our charter. So we don't really have to have a motion or anything on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can they,
Oh.
so I don't remember from our discussion, can they have a list of the businesses in downtown on their, like in their newsletter or anything? I mean, they're not specifically.
Yeah,
focusing
as
on
long as
one.
they are not focusing on one, like the map that we sent out that has all the businesses. I think Connie was holding it up, right? That has all the businesses in downtown listed. They could share that information because it is everything. It's not a specific business. It's promoting
Sure.
the downtown as a
Everybody.
whole. Yes.
You know, and one thing that you could do, I know it's very subtle, but one thing you can do is if you put a list of the businesses, you know, rotate that, you know, so that the first business isn't always the same first
Mhm.
business. You can rotate it
Right.
to where, you know, it's a subtle way to, you know, say, hey, look at this business. It's the very first one that you see, you know. And people that read your newsletter, and like I said, it's a very subtle way to do it, but
Yeah.
you know, it's an idea.
Sorry. Yeah. All right. Well, with that being said, we'll just continue to brainstorm and post history stuff. And can we make a post about my building going for the grant again? I mean, is that I know they posted it last year. But
Yeah.
maybe can we add that like historical photo?
Yeah,
after
we
that.
can add the historical photo. That was an action of the DEC
Mhm.
that we're applying for that grant. It's not
Yeah.
specifically a promotion of your business.
Yeah, okay. So maybe that's a quick and easy one.
Yeah.
But. All right. Moving on. So. Unless anybody has any more comments, we're good. Okay. So we have interview next. Juan. We have.
I didn't print up the applicants. They were
'Cause
in your email packet.
yeah.
And they've been before you.
It was the
before.
same one.
It's the same ones.
Yeah.
yes.
Um,
And
Cool.
how many positions do we have?
You're gonna have three. But Lonzo and Julie both reapplied. So Shane's position ends this month. So you'll have that position open.
so we have three.
But you'll have three positions that their term ends
Oh,
this
okay.
month.
Got it.
And so, but Shane and Julie reapplied. If you choose to reappoint them, you can make a recommendation that they are reappointed.
Oh,
Then
okay.
there's going to be one open position because Shane did not reapply.
Got it. Oh, did you mean Lonzo and Julie?
Lonzo and Julie,
Okay,
yes, yeah,
sorry.
sorry.
No, it's okay.
Nope, I was looking across and reading.
Okay, so we're
Yeah.
talking about Sean,
Lonzo.
Shane did not apply.
Shane did not
Got
apply,
it.
sorry,
Okay,
yes.
great. So, hi, Juan. Thanks for being here. Is that mic on or?
No, he can take Shane's.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, round two. All right. Hello, how are you? Do you just want to, again, just give us a little background on yourself and your business and what you want to do here?
Yeah, my name is Juan Luna, and I own a food cart down the street, Canan Stokes,
Mhm.
and then we're there for the last couple years already, and next one is 2 years.
Mm.
And then my background is working in fine dining rooms, events, and banquets, all the kind of stuff. My last job was HSU.
Mm.
I was one of the chefs there too. And I opened my food truck, and then I'm here now.
Awesome.
So I do events too as well. We do events, and then actually, I'm not sure you guys have people can tag in the end meeting.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I just try to absorb whatever you guys talking about this morning,
Mm,
and I think I have really good things.
Good idea.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, can I?
Yeah.
Yes. So I would like to, I don't know, I would like to enjoy you guys. That way I can get more understanding what is a part of that. I can bring ideas to you
Mhm.
guys too as well, and how we can work together.
Awesome. And are Mondays at 9 a.m.?
Absolutely.
One.
I close Mondays.
Yay. Awesome. Yeah, first Monday at 9.
And lots of people say, yes, they can make it,
Yeah.
and then they don't.
Yeah.
Oh, I close Mondays.
That's
thing.
good. Okay, yeah. All right. 20, anything? Lonzo, Bennett, kind of already did this. Julie?
What kind of events have you helped put together?
A lot.
A lot.
Well, I always touch the kitchen. by the way.
October
Mhm.
10th.
At my biggest events, we do 2,500 people.
Okay,
So when you do 2,500 people, you had to do stations.
yes.
You cannot run everything by one kitchen. You have to do 3 or 4 stations everywhere. So that way it can get more quick and running more easy.
For sure.
So yeah, this is my biggest event. The last events we had last year was in the festival music.
Mm,
It was like an hour and a half.
nice.
Sorry, I forget the name of the place, but it was 500 people the weekend.
Nice.
And then we moved, as you see, I'm not sure you guys see a truck sometimes walking around.
Mhm.
Not during the winter, but we do more in the summer.
Mm.
So yes. And then we do events. We do Stone Circle Cider.
Mhm.
We do NACO down the street. And we do by the school. So
That's awesome.
Well, and it's not just the meetings that we ask for board members to participate. So when we have an event coming up, we're hopeful that you'll be able to take a lead on some things and be there the day of the event.
I'm more than happy.
Okay.
And then sorry about that. One more. Well, I guess I can take it in the end of the day. Wait. Guess I had to bring business. You guys talking about bring business to downtown, and they can be part of the business in downtown. The library, you
Mhm.
say, is not part of downtown.
Mhm.
So my belief, we had a parking lot.
Mm,
We use the parking lot for events.
mhm.
We have Cinco de Mayo event coming.
Mm,
We're gonna post soon. We do 4th of July,
mhm.
and then I'm gonna be asking a request. We're gonna be a request for close the street in front of our food truck.
Mm,
I already had the application, and the only thing I had to submit it. So we try to do the biggest events in downtown. We can
Mm.
bring business and be as profit, but at the same time, it's not profit. Because the stuff we bring there, we don't take a profit from the stuff we bring to our customers or the community.
mhm.
We profit for food, but we don't profit for trampolines. And we don't profit for mechanical walls, music, or all that kind of stuff. We pay from our pocket.
Mhm.
And sometimes we really need help. Don't get me wrong,
Mhm.
but I think it's something we can work with that too, if you guys interested.
Mhm.
Well, one of the things that's critical is, the restaurants downtown might have some issues with food carts and vice versa. So it's critical that you build a good relationship with the other food industry.
folks.
Yeah, we open to everything, you know what I mean? We don't, yes, we have food trucks, but we respect the restaurants as well, because I come in from a restaurant. But the only thing I cannot tolerate it is when they try to attack us. It's different kind of opinion and then a try attack, you know what I mean? Because everybody's working hard, the sunshine is for everyone. You know, sun is what I mean, one part. Try and minimize our food trucks sometimes. I don't think so that's right either. You know, I mean, we have outside, it's outside seating. Yes, it's outside seating, but we offer everything. It's a real restaurant offers for everybody else. Tables, sink, bathroom, you know, and accommodation for seat, for parties, for, you know, we don't try to compete with the restaurants because everybody's benefit. When it's in downtown, everybody's benefit, not only food trucks. You know, we bring people to downtown. It's benefit to Napa, it's benefit to tacos, to Pepe's, it's benefit to the stores around the town. Because it's people stay in town, you know, and in downtown, no outside.
Yeah, I had one of your hot dogs last week. It was really good.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so what's the next step?
So
We
since
have
there are,
to- Okay, or do we only have one interview?
do
are
you
there
only
other-
have what?
One interview or applicant?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. So you have Julie
Great.
and Lonzo who are reapplying to serve another term.
Oh.
But other than that, you only have one in here or online.
Got it.
Do we go over the other applicant? Because there's another applicant. right?
Yep, there was Yvonne
Yeah.
and he was here the last time you interviewed him.
Yes. So do we interview Julie and Lonzo?
You can if you want to. And then you can choose to make a recommendation to council to appoint. There are 3 seats. There are 4 applicants. So you can choose to make a recommendation to council.
Okay, and then Yvonne, is he still an applicant?
Yes.
He's just not here
He's just
for the interview. Okay, so he's still an option,
Yes,
technically?
yes.
Okay, sorry,
Oh.
go
Sorry
ahead.
about Ivan.
Yeah,
Yeah, Ivan.
He
no more?
no, he's excused, and he asked for excuse because he have a personal stuff.
Yep.
Got to deal with that right now.
Okay, is he still want to apply or is he?
No, at this moment.
No,
okay.
okay, so
I
it's
got
just,
talked to him last night.
okay, okay, so Juan, Julie and Lonzo. Okay, for 3 spots.
Okay.
Okay. What? You don't want to come?
No, I
So how do we want to go about this? Does anybody have any questions for Lonzo?
Well, yeah. How's it going? Because you jumped right in with your
Mm.
business and being on this.
Mhm.
How do you feel your time is, are you okay with the
Yes.
allocation of all that?
I'm super happy with everything. My staff, I was talking earlier and we didn't have a table or a chair left and my staff, I was able to sit back. My staff was really able to take care of everything. Ticket times were about 25 minutes. So now I'm able to step away from that and let them run it. So I have even more time to be here.
Okay, Good,
Mhm.
good. Can be an issue when you first just
Oh, yeah.
dive in and do
It
everything.
was crazy. It was absolutely crazy, but
But you still came to, so we appreciate that.
Thank you.
yes. Okay.
So Monday, 9 AM is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you've missed one. What about you, Julie? What are your thoughts?
My
Mm.
thoughts, I think the first year was kind of a slow start,
Mhm.
just kind of grasping and understanding how everything works. But I really think that we've got a great group of people, have a better understanding. So really feel that if appointed again, that I could really contribute and, participate. And I so far have enjoyed it. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
And Mondays at 9 are still okay or?
Yes,
I
and
mean,
I
until you
feel
open?
bad that, I feel like everyone like accommodated their schedule just because I couldn't do evenings, but mornings are wonderful for me. I mean, I'm open, and willing to, change my schedule if we need to do later, evenings or whatever. So,
Because you're closed Monday, right?
Hmm?
You're closed Monday, right?
yes, I'm closed Mondays. Yeah.
I think we've finally
just have
found a
a-
day and a time that works for people.
Very
Yeah.
active daughter,
Yeah.
that I have to
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
cater to.
Be a mom.
We wanted to accommodate your schedule. And it's kind of serendipitous because I think it works for everybody else
Oh, yeah.
better too.
Yeah, we
So,
love it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, I
I
do.
just, I appreciate everyone doing that, but morning works perfect.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Because that's the only thing that I'm going to say to everybody is that I feel like this commission spent years not really doing anything, just not even treading water.
Mhm.
And we finally have a few things that are moving forward, and it's just so imperative that people are able to make that time commitment. And me personally, this has nothing to do with the rest of the commission. I think I'm going to ask the city council that they be much stricter with the attendance rules, because it's so impossible to get things, off the blocks.
Mhm.
So as long as you guys tell me that you're gonna make it, then I'm gonna support all three of you.
Yep.
Ditto.
Agreed.
Ditto.
So the next step would be to make a recommendation to city council.
Correct.
And do we make a motion for that?
Yes, please.
Yeah, we can do it one of two ways. We can vote on each individual, or we can go ahead and ask, or if anybody wants to make a motion for all three of these candidates. I just have to say that I understand that Ivan has told you that he pulled his application. I think that we need to consider that he's still an applicant until he tells us that he's not an applicant. But I will make a motion that we approve or recommend to city council all three of the people that are here today.
Mhm.
And then that's not an issue.
Okay.
So I've made a motion.
I second.
All in favor?
I say aye.
Am I
Aye.
allowed to vote? Aye.
No. you
I don't
can't
think
vote. And yeah, but it's a quorum as long as she's here, they're
Yes.
here, but they
Yeah.
can't vote. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you all three.
Do you want me to tell Ivan to answer that email?
That would be great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's possible he might have emailed Mara, and Mara
Mm.
is now officially on maternity leave. So I'm sure those will get forwarded to other staff members. It'll just take a little bit longer to
Sure.
get those emails. Yeah,
Okay, Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Appreciate it. Yeah. We'll see you in a month. Is this you, Bennett? Discuss promotions and city guidelines? Or did we kind of do that?
Okay, so here's the story that happened. So we were told by the city that we could not promote individual businesses. And so then Mara asked me for whether or not I was going to provide her with some content because she was getting ready to go on maternity leave for the e-newsletter and the newspaper submission. And she said, if you don't have anything right now, I can go ahead and use what Ant Farm has sent me. And I said, well, I'm going to abbreviate this. So fast forward a little bit. So we got into this discussion about Ant Farm asking to have a bake sale that they were doing promoted in our newsletter. And her initial response was that they're a nonprofit. We can promote nonprofit events and whatnot on the reader boards. And I said, yeah, okay, but this business activity that they're doing actually is in competition with other businesses. So why would we give them that advantage when we're not giving it to the next guy simply because of their tax status? And so, so nothing happened on that. She rescinded her offer to put that into the social media and e-newsletter. And, but I said, I think we need to have this on the agenda because obviously that little piece of it's not 100% clear. And so if, so maybe we need to just discuss it and have it be more informal, or maybe we need to request the city to add something that covers that specific kind of event or happening.
Mhm.
And so I don't really know. I just know that clarity is often something that's kind of like good big fence or fences make good neighbors. Clarity makes, everybody a little bit more satisfied that they're being treated equitably. And so there you go.
So the whole thing is that a Facebook post can't just have, or the e-newsletter can't just have one business on it, right? To promote that one sale. So if we have a Facebook post that has every single business on it saying what it's doing, like, like a meme,
A hardware
or something.
store,
Yeah.
restaurant.
the whole thing, just make the whole photo, everything, then is that okay to post? So if we have a template that this is what downtown is doing, and then if a business doesn't respond with this is what we're doing, then we can put business didn't respond. And then we can have the next one say just like Time Travelers is doing this. And then if the next business on the list doesn't say anything, then we just put they didn't respond on it. That way we're not specifically singling out one business and we're doing the whole thing.
So I want to clarify what you're saying
Mm.
is when I'm saying you can promote the entire community, I'm
Yeah.
saying like the map that Connie has that has
Yes.
every single business on it.
Mhm.
But what it sounds like you're asking is to add like a tagline or something to it.
Mhm.
And is this going to be just what the business is, like their category,
No.
not like their specials
No.
or their events?
There's specials.
No, that's where you can't, because that is promoting that individual business's activities,
Mhm. Even
you-
if we have all of them.
even if you have all
Okay.
of them. Yes, so you could put a list of here's all the businesses and like the category, like hardware store or
Okay.
clothing boutique or jewelry store. That is fine, but not
Mhm.
promoting their individual business activities.
Okay, so,
And Lonzo, that was our first argument, was that
Yeah.
we gave everybody equal opportunity
Right.
to
Yes.
send us their events and everything. And some chose not to. And we said, well, fine and dandy, if you're XYZ business and you
Mhm.
see that ABC business is getting promoted all the time, it's because they're sending us stuff.
yes.
But the city attorney apparently said, that's going a little bit too far.
Okay,
So,
I mean, just because I gotta wrap my brain around this whole thing. So then if we're not saying this business, this one single business on this post is doing the sale, but what we could say for a Facebook content is just as an example, because it's my business, Time Travelers Brewing Company. They are a local restaurant or local brewery here, and that's it.
No, because that's promoting an individual
That's the
business.
individual one.
Yes,
Okay.
yep.
But if we did
So
the map with
We
all
could
of
do the map with
this,
all of them. You
then it would
could
be
list
okay.
all the businesses. You could even say something like, hey, go to the website and find the list of businesses, that kind of thing. You can
Yeah.
do that because you're promoting the downtown as a whole.
okay,
So you can make a post with the map,
Yes,
pretty much. I mean, yep, here's a link, go check out what we offer. Pretty much like the chamber, all the businesses.
yeah.
so I guess my recommendation, given
Mhm.
those parameters, would be that we don't promote anybody's special event or sale or anything, regardless of their tax status.
I see where, yeah, so we're circle back to Ant Farm.
Yeah,
And
Because is Ant Farm technically in downtown?
yes, they're on
Yeah.
Zobrist.
Yeah, they are. Okay.
and this is a bake sale, you said?
It was, yeah.
Mm.
It was.
And I will clarify that Marb said, I think we can post this, but then brought it to Melanie and I, and we both said no.
Okay.
Because it was obviously a sales activity, not, I mean, where we're looking at, if you look at the code, is it a community benefit? Is this something that benefits the whole community?
Yeah.
And a bake sale, probably not.
Sure. Okay, well, that's a. Is that answer your question or our questions on where we stand, or or do you think things are gonna continue to come up with? Is it just ant farm maybe
I don't
that we're
know, and you
concerned
know,
about, or nonprofits, or?
Me personally, in my management history,
Yeah.
I've never wanted to make rules for a single occurrence,
Mhm.
you know, but I wanted to have the discussion because to see how you guys felt about it.
Yeah.
And also, if we see this conversation coming up over and over again, then maybe we need to have some kind of guidelines around it. But the clarity is what I was looking for. And because obviously people weren't clear on this. And so
Yeah,
There you
we
go.
agree that when we wrote this policy, it was not meant to be for the kind of communication that you're doing. So it's not exactly clear for the kind of communication you're doing. We understand that the city needs to modify this policy.
Roger.
Do we know how many nonprofits are in Estacada?
Altogether, no,
Yeah.
I don't
Is
have
there
a
a-
list of all
There's a
them.
lot.
There's a
there a lot?
lot,
Okay.
yeah. I know Connie, when we were looking at doing the 4th of July parade and thought we'd just recognize all the nonprofits and it ended up being like 20 something, didn't it? Yeah,
Justin, right?
Jerry.
Jerry.
Jeremy, sorry about that. Okay, so I'm thinking that we probably don't need to actually do anything as long as everybody's kind of in agreement with this. So
And Bennett, could you restate that? For your clarification. of
I
what it is?
think that we should not promote the let me go back to what I was about to say. You mentioned that there were so many other avenues, right? There's chamber membership, there's all kinds of things where people and organizations can promote what they're doing. And so our little slice of it, the thing that's really beneficial about our little slice is that we had, to start this out, we had the water bill recipients. And so our newsletter started out with 1,000 recipients rather than 100 or something like that. So that's one of the attractive things about our organization is that we had access to a larger audience from the get-go than a lot of others. But there are other ways for them to promote. And so I would recommend that we stick with this generic kind of events that are sponsored by the city or events that are sponsored by this commission, and that we stick with the downtown core, and that we not promote events, even fundraisers for nonprofits over for-profit businesses. So that we not promote individual businesses regardless of their tax status. And just have to say, that goes against everything that I believe in. But there you go.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
One recommendation that I would make, since you guys do utilize the water bill. I don't know if you have in the past, but just make sure that you're, in whatever you're putting in the water bill, you put check us out on Facebook for more, up to date and for more up to date and current information. Yeah, just long as there's something there, or, check us out here,
Links.
check us out there. Just as long as there's something there that says, hey, this isn't the only way that we're going to talk to you.
Right.
We have other avenues too, so.
We basically have 3 different ways that we reach this audience. And in each one of those ways, we promote the other ways.
Okay, good,
Mhm.
good.
So,
I interrupted Lonzo. He was going to say
Yep.
something.
No, You're all right.
So with that being said, we're not promoting people even if they're nonprofit.
We're gonna
Is
stick
that
with
what I
it.
hear?
Stick with events
Just
that are happening down here.
events in downtown, and so if Ant Farm's having a poetry night, we're not doing that.
How did
It's-
you say it earlier? The
It-
benefit?
For community benefit.
Yeah.
Okay,
And, but like the poetry reading, if it was sponsored by the Art Commission, maybe that would be something you would consider because that's a city event.
okay.
Killer.
So there's one thing that the council runs up against all the time, and I can't remember the wording that Peter uses, but when we're dealing with code or we're dealing with, subdevelopments coming in, we have to have
Clear and objective standards.
yeah, clear and objective standards.
Yeah.
So as long as, whatever you're doing, you're sticking to those clear and objective standards, and those apply to everybody, to everything that you guys promote. As long as you're sticking to those clear and objective standards, you're
Yeah.
you're good. You just gotta come up with those clear and objective standards and stick to it,
Mhm. Yeah,
And
and I
it's
think
It's
just,
definitely tough.
yeah, that's what these past few months have been trying to go through. And what can we do and and just finding our borders and, yeah. Clear and objective standards, I like that. All right. Do we want to move on to the budget?
Yep.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, I have, if we're gonna talk about budget next, the way the city's budget and your budget goes into the city's budget, you need to list income and expense. And I have included in your packet, a budget. This is the same template we used last year. And I took Connie's estimate from last year, the $1,200, and put that in there for the parade rather than zero. Just have it be,
Mhm.
it equals out there. However, you're gonna need to estimate an income for Oktoberfest.
Mhm.
I would recommend you think you're gonna charge $20 for admission. Does that seem reasonable? $15, $10?
I think we ran into this with Uncorked. We
Yes.
started high and that was not good. So I'd like
Yes.
to start with 10.
10, okay. So say $10 for admission, 250 people, which is a low end estimate. And then you put an income of 2,500 in there.
Mhm.
Because the city needs to have an income and expense listed.
Okay.
The way this is put in there, if we end up bringing significantly more income in, the city will have to do a budget amendment.
Mm.
And so I want to have something in there.
Okay.
Well, since we didn't really, this budget reflected what we thought our expenses were going to be
Yes,
net. And so if we do that, we need to adjust the expense to 7,500.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Did that make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we want to charge a $10 entry fee into the beer garden
Yes.
too?
Well,
How does
that's a
that-
discussion. So why would we charge people other than going into the beer garden? I talked to the people at Mount Angel and they don't charge for people just to come in and go look at the vendors and stuff. But to get into the beer garden, they do.
Okay.
So I'm seeing that as the only.
The only way? Okay.
Yeah.
And you won't
I
have
just wanted to make sure.
$250
So-
people in the beer garden.
Are you
I don't
guys
know,
gonna
and
have
Cork
like,
had 600, so that's where I get 250 as a reasonable number.
so, like Uncorked, where people showed up and they paid and they got a glass.
Right.
Mhm.
Is it going to be the same style thing where you show up and you get a glass?
Probably not.
Okay.
No.
So I was gonna say, if if it's a $10 admission into Oktoberfest and then, another $10 or whatever, if you want the commemorative glass that you can take to the,
Mhm.
I don't- Can we use uncorked wax?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
You can totally reuse the uncorked glasses. Let's get them
Memorial-
out of the
memorial,
storage. Just give them away.
Yeah. So one of the things that we can make money the other way is when we have vendors ask for a percentage of their take.
Yeah.
So because right now, we're not gonna provide anything for the vendors. They gotta bring their own tables, their own banners, everything. But we also have to, we're gonna be providing the opportunity to have a space, to sell and bringing people in. So the committee has not really talked about this yet, but I feel like we need to have a certain percentage of their sales we will collect.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
But like I was saying, events like that, I know it's always been, exciting.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
We have glasses, cups,
Mhm.
different things
We
that we've
have-
gotten at different events all over.
500 uncorked glasses upstairs.
Yeah.
You know.
So, it might be something another way to generate.
We also have T-shirts. We could sell T-shirts and glasses from uncorked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
Yeah, just.
It's a first year, so we're gonna be just like with uncorked, like I said, we started high and we heard about, it was overpriced, so then we lowered it and made some adjustments and we were really getting it fine tuned when we had to not do it.
So I know it's been a problem in the past getting vendors, getting people to come, come out, or have you guys even started the process or have an idea of the vendors' reaction or
We,
their response?
we haven't really, Lonzo's taking care of the, we're getting into a
Food and
different
beer.
subject here, aren't we? Getting into the beer garden. So the other vendors we want are gonna be more, food, jewelry, kids stuff. We're gonna have kids activities because part of the day is gonna be about Harvest Festival activities for kids. So we're just getting started.
Okay.
So I think it's important for us to say that both this work plan and budget were things that were proposals put together by your subcommittee. And so they're certainly subject to discussion and alteration.
Do we want to go over each item?
So do you want to do the budget separate from the work plan, or do you want to do them together? Because I will need motions approving both.
Understood.
Okay.
But what do you guys think? Why don't you just take a minute to look it over and see if you think there needs to be any changes?
And I will say, I noticed that you cut out the tree lighting. I don't care either way, but your code does say that you need to execute the 4th of July parade and one additional free community event,
Which is the Oktoberfest,
but you're charging.
charging for the beer garden.
You can take this to council. I'm just gonna say they might have an issue.
Okay.
I just want you to be prepared for that discussion.
We're not interested in doing, our proposal is that we're not interested in doing the tree lighting.
And that's not saying we wouldn't help and participate. It's just not taking the lead on it. Because,
Does
Okay.
not matter either way to me. I
Okay.
just want to clarify with you.
okay. Do we want some clarification on these budget items? I've got 2 calls into the Estacada News about inserts. 2 messages, so I don't know if that's a realistic price or not. That's just kind of a guess.
Connie, most of this is a guess, and the guess is based on our past experience. But if you don't have any concrete information, then I say we just leave it
Okay,
as it is.
okay. So do we need to make a budget proposal? or-
The question right now is, do we want to, if there's no changes other than this, we need to increase the
Yeah.
Oktoberfest to a $7,500 expense.
And add
if there are
$2,500 for
no
income.
Suggestions or changes to this, we can either pass the work plan and then pass the budget, or we can pass them both, or make a motion for the work plan and then vote, and then make a motion for the budget and then vote, or we can do both of them at one time.
I included on your table, I printed up the council goals because there is one goal in the council goals that specifically addresses the DEC, and I think you might want to have it on your work plan. They have explore converting the DEC to an economic development commission. And they are going to be looking at doing that in the fourth quarter, so probably around October. And I thought you guys might want to add that to your work plan to have that discussion with the council. It is not required. I'm just letting you know, updating what the council goals have approved.
Well, it really has no financial implication.
No, there's no cost associated with it either way.
Yeah, so I think we can leave that up in the air.
Okay.
That would be my recommendation, so we not address that.
Can you, what exactly?
So if
Are
you're
they wanting to
looking
do-
at the council goals under the heading support community vitality, it says explore converting DEC to an economic development commission or establishing a new economic development commission. And part of this exploration would be a joint workshop with the DEC to discuss what that would look like from your guys' perspective.
Right. And you said that would be around October.
In the fourth quarter, we're probably October, looking at the schedule right now.
So Bennett, you just keep,
I'd say, forget it.
not a priority right now.
They could change their mind, we could change our mind, all kinds of things could happen between now and then, so. If they want to bring it up, it's certainly, we actually were the ones that initiated that discussion anyway.
Okay.
Then I also want to clarify that you have staff liaison here listed as the responsible party. And until that has been approved by their supervisor, they cannot be responsible for any of this.
We're cognizant of that.
Okay.
Right. So. Does anybody have any questions about the work plan? No. Or concerns or what we're going for? Changes?
No concerns.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the work plan and budget as both one items.
With
Not
that
separate.
$7,500 edit,
Pardon?
with that $7,500
Yeah.
edit.
With that $7,500 change to Oktoberfest.
So the expense for Oktoberfest as $7,500 and the income as $2,500. Okay.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
So. What's that next? Review 2022-23 goals, is that kind of what we just did, or
Yes, there's the-
anybody? Okay.
like what we just did.
Yeah. For those goals for us, or, was this just for
This
your?
was not an agenda item I added. This was already on this. I assumed that was you guys reviewing your own goals from last year.
This came from the business plan, is that right?
The what
What's
did?
This came
That-
from the business plan?
This is the council goals.
Yeah.
Oh,
This came from the
yeah.
council's goal setting.
oh,
So
okay.
these are all council goals
So
here.
sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Just what due to the comment about?
What changes would happen if we were to become the Economic Development Commission?
It depends. One thing would be the district would expand. You'd be covering the whole city. Ideally, the makeup of the board would change so that it was representative of the major businesses in the community. So you want to have feedback from the businesses that have the largest impact on our economy.
Mhm.
So that would probably mean the makeup of the board would change. Also, you'd be looking at more long-range planning. You wouldn't be doing kind of this, you wouldn't be putting on events. you'd be looking at long-range planning, long-range goals, probably more similar to the Planning Commission or the Infrastructure Committee.
Interesting. And
Interesting.
they think that we need more of that or
It was.
just in
this was-
conjunction
this
to
was
those
kind of
other
your
ones?
guys' suggestion is converting the DEC into more of an Economic Development Commission. And as they function in most other cities, it is more of a long-range planning commission. It is for advisory and long-range planning, not the kind of day-to-day things that you're handling with promotions and event planning.
So, in just thinking how that might look, it could be that if this committee or something like it were to develop into an economic development commission, that the activities of the DEC might be like a subcommittee or a smaller,
Mhm.
I don't know, like a division
Yeah.
of that commission.
Yeah, you could keep the kind of the Main Street Committee goals as a subcommittee underneath the Economic Development Commission.
I think the main differences would be that what Elena was saying is that there would be more, we would focus more on longer term planning, but additionally, the Main Street program may or may not be part of it. So again, the Main Street program could be probably a subdivision of that economic development, or they could disband and not, I mean, honestly, if we don't get the grant this year, there's a strong argument that we're wasting our time with some of the constraints that are put on us by being part of that program.
Is that what you mean by kind of started this conversation as our partnership, I guess, I don't know, wrong word, with the Main Street program?
Yeah, so the
Okay.
Main Street program was part of it, but it kind of morphed into this larger discussion
Yeah.
of the Main Street program. In essence, is an economic development. It is economic development in that it's supposed to be growing these kind of micro enterprises that you see that are starting up in downtowns, things like the food carts and Julie's businesses. These are all micro enterprises, maybe they have 1-2 employees. They're not these big businesses that
Yeah.
we would be dealing if we were more of an economic development commission. So it's kind of what is missing and how can we combine the two? It's more what the council was looking at.
Awesome. It's a good thing. Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah, no
It's
problem.
subtle. All right. That's it. If anybody doesn't have any more comments, then do we have any public comment?
There are no attendees online.
No? Okay. Juan, do you have anything? Yeah? Okay, let's hear it.
Yeah, which one? This one right here?
No, I didn't get that.
Oh, you're gonna have to sit there. I didn't turn on the public mic. Sorry.
Mhm.
I needed
Did
to
you get
replace
it?
the batteries.
Yes, yes. Okay, let's try to absorb whatever you guys tried to talk about this morning.
Yeah.
Never been this before, at the second time. So my question is this, what kind of events you guys can sponsor?
Well, currently, we do the 4th of July parade, which is big. We have done the tree lighting. We used to do in Cork, but we're switching Harvest Festival into an Oktoberfest. So those are
What's
the,
up to that?
it's more like a beer garden, pop music and
What
pretzels. It's a downtown event for family.
Oh, here?
It's, yeah, it'll be in Harvest
I'm hearing
Markets.
about that.
Mm-mm.
All right,
We're just starting. This is gonna be the very
Oh,
first
okay.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
first one.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Guess I don't see that one.
like Harvest Festival in the fall.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
expanding it to be a beer garden, more music, that type of thing.
And then, again, I see, well, this is our, downtown, right?
Mhm.
If somebody want try, like, library again, my English is broken. sorry. But, again, it's what you guys say, okay? The library try, be part of the downtown too, right? I believe so. I mean, be part of that event or anything like that?
Oh, yeah, the library can participate in events. And last year at Harvest Festival, the
Yeah.
library bought their library bus down
Oh.
and
Mhm.
they had
So
folks.
we can, of my side, can I talk to library and bring, like, once again, I'm gonna do events for Cinco de Mayo.
Mhm.
It's gonna be one of the, not the biggest, but for our path to start bring customers only the year to the town, downtown. So we're gonna do a, bouncing house for kids. We're gonna do piñatas, we're gonna do music, we're gonna do, candies and whatever, and the specials. Each car's gonna be selling, something, a Mexican dish,
Mhm.
you know? And we like to know what you think, bring like library here or 4th of July, because 4th of July, we're looking for other vendors.
So for the 4th of July, we handle the parade. And that's strictly the parade. We don't get into vendors, we don't
Mhm.
get into food, we don't get, it's strictly the parade. And that's a big thing as it, on its own. So as far as doing anything other than that, that would be, in my opinion, totally separate from the DEC. So if you wanted to have something on the 4th, maybe up at the field between, the library or the grade school and the, that big field, that would be fine. Is that
Okay.
what you're asking?
Yes. And it's for Cinco de Mayo, are you guys sponsored
I'd
to?
love to have a Cinco de Mayo.
Uh,
I'd love to have a Cinco de Mayo.
I think that the library did a Dia de las Muertes event last
Is
year.
that Day of the Dead?
Yes,
Yes, we did that.
yeah. So I don't think anybody's doing a Cinco de Mayo event.
It's what we absorbed to during the last couple of years. We don't see like Cinco de Mayo is big in United States,
yeah.
more bigger than my country, to be honest.
Yeah, we made
We
it.
do September 16th. It's Independence Day, but it's more bigger Cinco de Mayo in the United States than what is in my country. And I see everybody celebrate. Everybody's celebrate
Mhm.
Mexican food, right? So we're gonna do a Mexican food on my truck, and then of course, and then Mayans and Boba's gonna do something Mexican drink. We are gonna be trying to talk to Pepe's, but I guess Pepe's is it's Mexican everything.
Yeah.
Right. But we try to be bouncy house, piñatas, decorations.
So
and-
are you talking September?
No, May.
Oh, May, okay.
Cinco de Mayo.
I would love it.
May 5.
Mhm.
So we wanna try what we intend this year is to start the new event for each year.
Mm.
Cinco de Mayo, we can celebrate it in downtown, and then we can celebrate it for July. Is the two more bigger events we're gonna try to do it. But Cinco de Mayo, we obviously we need sponsors too, you know what I mean?
So when
Once
you
again-
say we,
Well, the pot, we need sponsors, we need looking for vendors coming in too. We don't charge. Once again, we do for the community. We don't charge for whatever we bring. Our food is the only thing we make a profit for, right? Because it's something we dedicated, but we don't dedicate it for events, and we don't, for bringing staff, we need to bring customers, we need to bring people to downtown. At the same time, whatever we bring, we pay from our pocket. So it's not profit.
So it sounds like you're asking if the DEC would want to be the sponsoring agency for Cinco de Mayo.
Mhm.
They've already established their project plan for this fiscal year, and Cinco de Mayo would fall in this fiscal year. So I don't know that they could do it this fiscal year. You'd have to ask if they want to add it to the
No,
next year, which would be in 2024.
Yes,
definitely.
if it's something you guys able or interest to, not to help, but then sponsor to,
Mhm.
you know what I mean?
You just do the same thing like October
Yeah,
first.
yeah. I've thought of having a Cinco de Mayo for years, but nobody to kind of take it on. If you're gonna do May, you gotta start planning in October, November,
Okay,
to get all the paperwork and all that stuff done. I'd be happy to talk with you about it
yeah.
and
thank
see what
you.
we can do.
And then we try to do a same as things for July. Like you say, you already have it as in charge of July. So we continue the party very much
Mhm.
on the parade. to the
Mhm.
park.
Mhm.
But at the same time, everybody's benefit from that because we bring up more vendors. We bring mechanical wall, we bring trampolines.
I know.
Everybody stay around.
I do want to clarify, those are fun and they're great, but our insurance won't cover bouncy houses or
Yeah.
mechanical bulls or dunk tanks.
And
Just the city
Right.
says that's too much of a liability. We're not going to do it. Just
Yeah.
FYI.
But you, and I agree. Right now, the parade itself can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
And so if there's another group maybe that wants to take it on to do all of that other stuff, that would be great. I don't see DEC taking on all that other stuff,
Okay,
but
So-
not in connection with the fourth. That's just,
yeah,
too
yeah,
much.
no connection with the two, because once again, it's no, we don't, how do you say that? I want to sound like we asking for money, because we don't ask
Yeah.
for money.
and a lot of times it's not money.
No,
It's
not
people and
about that.
time.
It's about bring customers and stay in downtown.
It's,
Instead of go to north, south, or wherever you want to go,
Yeah.
stay here.
Yeah.
You know, and it's beneficial for everyone. Restaurants is around us, is food truck, of course. The stores next to us, and that, but tacos, the pizza, the across the street, the coffee. So it's beneficial for everyone. So and once, like, you guys talking about this, and then how to call everybody's business, what kind of business is here in downtown? Yes, I'm totally agree. If you change, like what he asked me to, change names and time and everything. It's totally perfect, I guess. And it's not promote only one business, it's promote all downtown. So, thank you. I hope you guys interest for the sponsor for Cinco de Mayo staff. There can be something new to bring to downtown, and they can make it bigger to as well as for July. I don't know if it's not right.
Mhm.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So just real quick. So we have to have 2 free events, you said?
Yes, based on the
Um,
code, the no, you have to have the 4th of July parade and 1 free event.
so the question is, would Oktoberfest be considered free or
Yeah.
charged?
Yeah, so that
It's
is,
free
that
to
is,
people who are 20 years old and younger.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's free to children.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be surprised if there's any problem with Oktoberfest being considered free. If your admission to the bulk of it, it's only the beer garden. It's kind of like saying the food, that the vendors can't charge for food.
Mm,
So,
right.
there's gonna be parts of it that are not free. If you're gonna
Mm.
drink beer, that's not free. If you're gonna eat food, that's
Yeah.
not free. If you're gonna
But
go
you
into
can
the beer
come.
garden, that's not free. So, I mean, maybe that's something that we want to ask the city council right away, but if there's a, significant portion of that event that isn't charged, I think that it fits.
Jerry.
And if there is an issue, I will definitely bring that argument forward.
Thank you.
And support that argument 100%.
Our Martzen is going to be finished in 2 weeks, and then we'll have 14 barrels of real Oktoberfest beer. We're going to sell the Martzen for 2 weeks, and then the rest will keep aging until Oktoberfest.
Yeah. So really for now, like we can do as many events as we want. It's just our choice.
Yeah, it's your
Correct.
choice.
I mean,
Yeah, you do as many events
there's
as
not a
you
limit.
feel that you
It's
have
just-
capacity.
Right, of
That's
course.
the upper end.
Okay.
Yes,
There's just the minimum you have to have.
yes.
Are we down to commissioner comments?
Yep, we're all done.
I have a question for Jerry. What's the latest on the revamping of Main Street, the redoing of Main Street? What's up?
Yes. It's going to happen.
When?
We have, again, we haven't decided on final design yet. The goal is to have it done, I think, by the end of summer.
I mean, that was the goal.
Yeah. But it's been a long process trying to, the initial design on paper was beautiful. It was amazing. But the Traffic and Public Safety Commission did a mock-up, and they just showed us that it's not feasible, that we can't have our Main Street with all that, with all that stuff. So we've been going back and forth over design concepts. What do we want here? What do we want there? So right now we're, I think the last talk, they were going to go, redesign it with everything that we talked about and then bring it back to us. And I think it has to go to our urban renewal board, which is, again, it's city council, we're the urban renewal board. For the final decision on design and then in that same council meeting, we'll approve it and move forward. But the initial goal was to have it done by the end of summer, but that is obviously going to be pushed back because we're going to get a later start on it.
Okay, again, I know I sound like a broken record, but please don't mess up the 4th of July parade route.
So one
don't know.
comment that was made during the council meeting was, if it's still in progress, we're going to have to change the route.
Connie.
Do you,
I
do you
know.
think the construction's gonna start by then?
That's
I mean,
a-
just
that's the
personal
thing, we
opinion.
really don't know.
Yeah,
It's
hard to say.
It's
already March.
It depends on
The-
how long the council take, or the board takes to approve the plan. When the
Yeah.
board approves the plan, then you've got approximately another month for engineering and another month for.
Right.
building.
It's
Yeah.
just so
The
much.
later
yeah.
we get started, the more setbacks we're going to have, just like with Wade Creek Park, we got started a lot later than, they got started a lot later than we thought, and it's pushed it back. We're 9 months, 10 months
Mm.
past the
Completion.
where we wanted it to finish.
Right.
We're already 10 months, 9 or 10 months past that. Because of weather, because of supply issues, the later we get started, the longer it's going to take to do the project.
Sure.
And we want the least amount of downtime for Main Street that we can
Mhm.
possibly have.
Yeah,
That's our
businesses.
goal. We want to keep the businesses going. We want to keep the traffic flowing. We don't want Estacada to stop, or at least that portion of Estacada to stop because of, this project. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I hate the idea of having to, reroute the parade or whatever, but unfortunately, that might be a reality that we're going to have to face.
So hopefully just one year.
If you have construction going on during the summer, the parade is the least of the problems. So sorry,
Yeah.
no, not to diminish
day. Yeah,
your
an hour.
issue, but you
Yeah.
got way bigger problems than that.
Yeah. Yeah. And hopefully just this year. Doesn't take 2 years. All right.
But the outcome is it's going to be a much more inviting route in
Sure.
the future. So.
I think it's worth the time.
Mhm.
Okay, any more comments?
No, Thank
No,
you.
all right,
Good job.
10:20, meeting adjourned.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.